welcome or welcome back. My name is Savannah and I appreciate you stopping by and checking out what I got to say and show. This video is all about my crafting adventures, so if that is what you're into, please stick around. And if you don't craft but you happen to stop by, that's okay too. Maybe there's something here that will inspire you. Either way, I am glad that you're here watching this video. I am down here in my crafting room. It is Sunday, March 3rd. March 3rd, it is 10 o'clock in the morning. Normally I'd be filming up in my bedroom just because the natural lighting is way better than the artificial lighting that is down here. There's no windows in this room, but my husband is upstairs. He's not feeling very well, so he is trying to sleep off a migraine. So this is what we have. And obviously you can tell I have a ring light on. I apologize for that reflection, but this is what we're going to do today. I had planned to film this video last Friday, the March 1st, but I completely forgot. So I'm just going to do it today. Sorry for the quality of this video, but this is what we have. Oh, I have knitting and crochet. That's all I have to show. I have a finish. I have 2 acquisitions, 2 new starts, and just a couple whips. Yeah. Maybe it's 3 new starts, but one is you know, you'll when I talk about it, I'll let you, you'll find out why. But you know what we're going to do before we start into all the knitting and stuff? I'm going to talk about my February stats because I just updated everything. So I wanted to let you know. I do not have a year-to-date information yet. And again, I don't know if I'm going to wait until mid-year, June, or if I will eventually do that after every month. But I think maybe it'll be just a half a year thing. Anyways, this notebook I'm using, it's a bullet journal. I am writing out my weekly goals, what I start, what I finish, yarn in and out, because I'm trying to track how much yarn I'm using, and I'm also tracking what I'm spending on yarn and patterns. So obviously here's February's. Technically it's not, wait, today's the last day for the week because I'm trying to do whole weeks, not just what the month is showing. So for March, week 1 starts March 4th. And thankfully week 4 ends actually March 31st. But that's how I'm, excuse me. That's how I'm rolling. So it looks, I did okay. Yarn in, I think this is correct. Let me double check. I do have a spreadsheet on my computer as well. Let me double check. Yarn in, yes, yarn in, only 4 skeins. Nothing has changed there. Yarn out, I used a total of 4 units. I should just say units because that's either 50 gram skeins, 100 gram skeins. It's really it. And then 500 gram cones. I did not break it up into, I didn't equal it to 5 100 gram skeins. I just counted it as 1 unit. So that is how I'm counting it. So I've used a total of 7 units of yarn for February. I'm still over my year date. What am I trying to explain? Started the year with about 240 units of yarn. That's not including minis, undyed yarn, and scrap skeins. I've already dug into them. I didn't count those either. So, or my hand spun, I didn't count that as well. So, 240 skeins of yarn, I actually ended February with 254 units in stash. So I'm still working on it. Still working on it. Let's go over. Oh my goodness, why? Let's go over the budget of what I've spent in February. So for patterns alone, I spent quite a bit on patterns for February. I spent a total of $37.90. This is United States currency. I do write in the conversion when I buy patterns. So I purchased the Colette pullover by Sari Nordland, the Rivendell pullover by Sari Nordland, the Tessellated cardigan by Andrea Mowry, Brady loops by Other Loops, the Berlin scarf by Suzanne Mueller, and the Traveler cowl by Andrea Mowry. Purchased all those patterns this past month. Again, that was $37.90. In yarn, I purchased Lion Brand's Fisherman's Wool and a sock set from Leo and Roxy. And that totaled out to be $83 total. And that includes shipping. So that is exactly what I spent on yarn. $83 for February. So that's how I'm tracking. I'm doing my best to see where all my money goes. Okay, I think that's everything for tracking wise. Let's go over here. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in. My finished object for February is my artist shawl. I finished this, I think like maybe 2 weeks ago. Oops, sorry. This is the artist shawl by Natasha Hornby of Moonstruck Knits. She was hosting a knit along from January 1st to February 29th. So I joined in. I had this yarn all in stash. This yarn was actually in a cardigan. I ripped it all out because I did not like the fit. It just didn't fit me. So I ripped it all out and reknit it all into this shawl. So I do have a bit of it left over, but it's all touched into. So, you know, so it's not going to get counted back towards stash at all. It's now just scrap yarn. The yarn is ampersand fibers in their Caslon fingering base, which I believe is a Corriedale. I mean, I can pull it up. I have everything right here at hand. I think it's 100% Corriedale. Yep. Super soft, really lovely. I'll try to pronounce the colors for you this time. So the green is Shield 03. The pink is Pompadour. The white color, the natural color, that is called Grizzali, I think is how that's pronounced. The blue is Azurite 01 and the yellow is Ochre 01. Isn't that lovely? So yeah, I finished it. I did not win the giveaway, but that's okay. At least I have this really pretty shawl. I actually really, really enjoy it. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. So it's an I-cord bind off, but it's a 7-stitch I-cord bind off. So I thought that was really strange. I don't know if I like it, the look of it very much. It is a little wonky because of blocking. I don't have blocking wires, so it did kind of stretch out the pins. But here's the back of the, is that going to focus? The back of the I-cord. It's really strange. Oh, and there's all my floats. Even though this is mosaics knitting, you still have floats. Oh, stop looking at my face. So yeah. I'm not going to wear it right now, but that's what it looks like. It's very lovely. I'm glad to have this done and off the needles. So yeah, that's all I have to say really about that. Nothing else too crazy. It does feel like it's the year of the knit-alongs for some reason, so I have more that I'll talk about in a minute because they're not part of my whips. So diving into whips now, let's go ahead. My first whip is my test knit for Joan Ho. Again, she's writing a new book this year. I have her first book right here. So Joan Ho, she wrote this book, or released this book last year. It's the cable knit style. It's really lovely. I haven't knit anything from it yet, but eventually I will. She's writing a new book for summer weight projects, I guess, and I applied to test knit one of her items, and so that is what I'm working on, and I'm almost done actually. It's a little wonky. Everything's a little wonky, so it likes to curl up at the edge right here. It's a folded hem. You start bottom up. If you watched my last video, I don't know if I put it in there or if I edited it out, but I was just like, I'm very curious why Joan Ho, almost everything in here that I like is bottom up. This is bottom up. I'm just curious why she prefers bottom up designing. Not a big fan of the shoulders. You do bind off everything and then you do a horizontal and invisible seaming. You seam it, so there is bulk, unfortunately. Not a big fan of that, but I was not allowed to change anything in this test knit. I've added the collar. I still need to seam down the pocket, but I did close it up. So, and then add a pocket flap to go over it. So there's a little pocket. I'm working on sleeve 1, but I'm actually almost done. I got all the short rows done last night. I just have about another inch or so to go, and then it's another folded hem. This one's a folded collar as well. I don't know how well. Oh, my face. And then the other sleeve, and then the only thing I have left is the pocket flap, and then adding a snap and sewing the pocket lining down to the sweater. That's all I have left. So I'm actually hoping that I could potentially get this done today. I did pick up this sleeve in the evening and was able to get this far, so I really don't think it will take me that long to finish this sleeve and do the other one. And then the flap is not very much either. So again, I'm hoping to get this finished. There is a matching pair of shorts that will go along with this. I'm not test knitting the shorts, but I do think I'm going to knit them eventually to go with this shirt. I will have enough yarn left over. So the yarn I'm using is Holst Garn. This is the Coast base, which is 55% wool, 45% cotton. This is the Black Currant colorway. It's really, really soft. It is a thinner weight yarn. It does, well, I don't have a finished garment in this yet, but I'm thinking it will bloom. I mean, here's my tiniest little swatch in the whole world. It should bloom. I am holding this double because it is DK weight pattern, so I'm holding it double. I did not hit gauge exactly, but it should be close enough. I think I mentioned last week or last video that my positive ease is just, I think, one less than the minimum recommended, which is fine. It still looks like it's gonna be pretty decent on me, so I'll have to double check when it's all said and done what the measurement is. But yeah, I just have the sleeves to go, which are short sleeves, pocket flap, and it should be done, which is nice. What else do I want to say about this? I feel like there was something else I wanted to say. Oh, if I don't take notes, I forget. I think it really was just these seams. I just don't understand. I did my best to make them look pretty. It's just, and again, it needs to be blocked as well because it does keep folding up. So maybe everything will be fine once it's blocked. But yep, so that's my goal for today, is potentially getting that finished. We will see. All right, next whip. This one is a crochet whip. I did not get much further. I did not get much further than last time, but I don't know if I had the eyes in. I did add the eyes. I'll tell you about it in just a second. I started stuffing, but I need to buy more stuffing because I know I'm going to run out very quickly. This is Angelica Whale from KALs 3. There's pencil in there. Okay. KALs 3. Here's Angelica Whale. This is the stuffy that my son requested out of this book. This book is by Jan Schenkel. I really, really like these. They're so cute. Anyways, the whale is probably the most difficult one. Granted, it's the first one, so I haven't done any other ones yet. But it is proving a little bit frustrating. This can go over here, actually. But yeah, I'm just working through the body. It's just the same for a long number of rows. So I'll keep going a little bit every couple of days. With the stuffing, it has helped a little bit, not a whole heck of a lot with this twisting. As you look straight on, you can see it's kind of funky. Like if I try to line up the eyeballs, you see the side sits up a little bit higher. There's nothing I can do about it though, unfortunately. But I need to stuff the crap out of this thing. So yeah, yarn I'm using is Drops Cotton Light. This isn't the right color, but it looks like this. It is just a 50% cotton, 50% polyester. I believe it's a DK weight. I got it all from Wool Warehouse. I think I bought 4 skeins of this blue, and I still have this much of the first one. So maybe I didn't need that much, but it's better to overbuy than underbuy. I bought enough to make the whale and a dinosaur for my daughter, also from the same book. I think I spent $22 total with shipping from Wool Warehouse. So, and I potentially over purchased, so there is that. But yeah, that's very slow going. I'm using a 3mm needle or hook because I don't have the called for size hook at all, unfortunately. So I went with the 3. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's just slow going because it's a little bit boring right now. So yeah, what else? What's next? Whips. This one. I haven't really touched this one in a while, but I figured I should show you because I do have a bit of progress. Oh, I know what I wanted to say about this. So with this sweater right, or this t-shirt that I'm making right now, this is where I was the last time I showed you in my last video. That's what I wanted to say. Like, I'm super proud of how much I did. I only had this much, this little bit down here. And then I knit all of this since the last video. So I'm really, really proud about that. That's what I wanted to say. This one, again, I have not touched in a little while. I do need to get back to it. But again, I'm going to focus on the t-shirt, the test knit first. This is the Clearview cardigan by Sasha Knits. I'm using Pro Soho's Good Wool in the Wild Mustard colorway. This is a sport weight. It is good wool, 100% Andean Highland wool. Oh, is it? Again, wild mustard. This is the second skein. I'm on the second skein finally. Yeah, this is where I was the last time I showed you. So I finished up the back panel and picked up for the front. I got that going, and I've picked up, well, I guess you didn't pick up, you cast on, like, oh, so I don't know, it's hard to show you. It's a pretty scoopy neck. So I finally got that. I need to get this front panel finished so I can pick up and do this front panel. So my goal for, I think for this first week of March, yeah, first week of March, I plan to get this one panel finished. And then for the next, oh, actually, I'm giving myself 2 weeks actually for this front panel. I probably don't need it once I pick it up and get going. But 2 weeks for this one and then 2 weeks for that one. That means that by the end of March, I should only have this done. I mean, I'll probably be further along, but you never know. Because I know that this wraps over. This will still be on my back. So this is like the shoulder. And so I have quite a bit to go to match this back panel. I cannot wait to block it because it feels a little bit tight right here where I picked up. I picked up the correct number of stitches, but it feels very tight. I don't know if it's just the cables pulling everything in and making it pucker, but I really want to block it. I really just want to block it. I know I can block before the project's finished, but I always like worry that I'm going to mess something up or it's just going to look, you know, annoying. But I think once I have both front panels done, joined in the round, I'm going to wet block it just to get everything to lay nicely. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that. Really excited. I wore an outfit the other day, actually last Sunday. Last Sunday, I really wish this would have been finished because I would have had the perfect outfit for it. It would have been perfect to wear last Sunday. But alas, it is sadly being neglected right now. It's just a lot of work. All those cables, it's a lot of work. Okay, let's move on. All right, this one was technically a whip before, but I did decide to rip it out and not technically restart. It's kind of the same, but different. So I did film a clip. I don't really think it's necessary for me to add it in now because I can just explain it to you. Yeah, I don't think I need to add it in, but either way, I had the traveler shawl on my needles. I had cast it on. I had been knitting on it for a while, but I wasn't picking it up. I wasn't enjoying it. It was just languishing. And then Andrea Mowry of Dry Renee Knits, she announced her new Spin It to Knit It knit along for 2024. And it was anything in her Traveler series. You know, the pullover, the hoodie, the cowl, the shawl, and the shell, I think. Does she have? I can't remember. Either way, she has a lot in the same design pattern thing. And I was like, okay, well, cool. I could potentially just keep going because whips were welcome. I could use the shawl for that. It's on my own hand spun already. But the only issue I was having was, well, I was having two issues. A, I know I didn't have enough yarn. And I was not sure what I was going to do in the first place to finish the shawl. Second, I'd have to make the smallest size anyways, and I'm not a big fan of small shawls. I guess there is 3 points. And three, I knew I wasn't going to really wear this shawl. I just knew deep down that it wasn't a shawl that I was going to wear often. So I decided to rip it out. And I was like, you know what? I will make the traveler cowl instead. So I can still participate. I can still make a thing using this hand spun yarn. And I know I'll wear it. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So I ripped it out and I started the cowl. I'm not entirely sure what day I started it. I could probably just check real quick. This was the February 22nd is when I started it. I've only worked on it, according to this, 3 days. I think I worked on it yesterday too. So 4 days so far I've only worked on it. And I'm almost halfway done. So here is the yarn that I spun. This is, I'm going to have to pull it up because I can never remember the actual fiber. It's a combo spin that I did back in January or July for Tour de Fleece. Oh, I didn't put it on here. Dang it. I have not written it. What? Could not be auto-saved. I don't want to revert. Ugh. Okay, 1 second, please. I forgot to put the information of the yarn in my project page, but it's in the Traveler project page, Traveler Shawl project page, because I just listed it as frogged. Where are you? Okay. Okay, so this is a blend of Falkland and Polworth. The fiber came from Wool Gathering Fiber of the Month Club 2 years ago. And they went pretty well together because one was rainbow and one was, I think, blue and green. So I spun them together and I got about 200 yards. No, 204 grams. I can't remember how much, 600-ish yards. It is a fingering weight. Fingering to sport weight. But yeah, it wasn't enough to do the shawl. I needed at least 300 grams and I only had 200. So, yep, I got it started and I am flying. Let's see here. Again, I'm almost halfway done. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if I did something wrong. I know at one point I did end up on the wrong side for some reason. So I did have to rip back a little bit and try to figure out where I was, but I noticed that, so there's ridges, you know, you have these purl ridges. Focus, maybe? 2 of them right here, these 2, I don't know what happened. These 2 right here ended up really thick, like they're bigger than the rest of them. So you can see on the wrong side, I don't know, this one's right here is very skinny. I don't know how well you can see that, but I don't know what I did there, but I'm just leaving it. Kind of does a weird little swoop too. So I think I was doing the increases on the wrong side for a minute. Anyways, so this is the top around your neck. This part will be seamed in the back, and then there'll be a point in the front. But yeah, that's what I'm doing for the Dry Renee Knits Spin It to Knit It knit along for 2024. I don't know if I'm going to actually have enough yarn to do 2. I have a feeling that I will. But who knows? I might make a second one. I don't know. Probably not. I never knit anything twice unless it's a hat. Either way. Okay, what else? What else do I have to show? I think I just have, I have 2 new starts. 2 new starts to show. So going on the Andrea Mowry train, I'll show you this one. So she's also hosting her March to May knit along as well. And it's not like I needed to, well, I didn't need to actually do this, but I was kind of feeling a little funk with everything that I have on my needles right now. And so I was like, okay. And it was any sweater or any shawl that she had. So I was like, cool. I already actually have 2 shawls on my 2024 make list. Not a make 9, just a, it was originally winter plans, but technically winter's going to be over here soon. So I just turned it to 2024 plans. And I have 2 shawls by her on my plans list. So I was like, I want to get these yarns out of stash. They've been in my stash for over 2 years. So I was like, well, let's pick one. Which one should I do? And it all came down to which needles I had available. So it was either the Birds of a Feather shawl or it was the Night Shift shawl. And I did not have needles available to do the Birds of a Feather shawl. So I'm working on my Night Shift shawl finally. I've had these 2 balls of Noro in my stash since 2021. I purchased these in my hometown when I went back to visit my mother when she was first diagnosed with cancer. So it's a little bit special. But yeah, I had these 2 balls. They're Noro Ito. So let's see if I can do this with Noro. And it's Ito. It's 100% wool yarn. It's not a blend like a lot of other Noro ones. It is 200 grams, 400 meters. So I think it's like a worsted to probably a bulky weight. Worsted Aran maybe. It is definitely thicker. I have number 8. And then this one is number 30. While they look the same, they're actually not. I think they actually have names. Let me go into my project. Because when I typed them in to Ravelry, yeah. Oh, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Mizoho. Wait, that would be this one. Mizoho and then Cabernet. Maybe that'll help with the colors. Either way, I know other people in the past have used these to knit a Night Shift shawl. So I was like, okay, that's what I bought this exactly for this pattern. I did have to go up a needle size just because I started with the called for and it just felt too dense. And that's probably because this yarn is a bit thicker than the called for, which is Spin Cycle's Dream State. You need like 6 colors, but I'm going with this. So yes, I went up to a US 9 or a 5.5 millimeter. It's still a little, well, I guess maybe not too dense. It does feel tight when I'm doing the increases, but other than that, it's working out. So this is what I've got so far. It's actually really enjoyable to knit on. I didn't think it was going to be because I think I tried making the shift cowl a while back and I just was struggling with it for some reason, but this one seems really nice. Maybe because I can actually see the different colors. So what I plan to do is for the first, I believe this pattern is broken up into 10 different sections. For the first 5 sections, you're using color A and then you're mixing your other colors with it. And then in your last 5 sections, you switch out. I mean, you're not doing one background exactly, but I think what I plan to do is for the first 5 sections, I'm going to use what I'm listing as color A. I think this one is, yeah, as my background, and these will be the blips. And then I think for the last sections, I will just flip it. Hopefully that will work. When we get there, we will find out, but that is my plan as of right now. So yeah, it's a pretty thick, it's going to be cozy, it's going to be warm, and I'm just going to knit until I run out of this yarn. So hopefully this is enough. This is what other people have said. They just have 2 of these. These are pretty big, so we'll see. It's going to be cozy and warm. I need to get working on it because it's only until the end of May, so I definitely need to get cruising, but I definitely enjoy it. Again, one more look, because how cute is that? Looking pretty. So yep, that was my other new start, and for a knit along for Andrea Mowry. Unfortunately, can't, it'd be nice if I would have stuck with a traveler shawl. That could have counted towards the March to May knit along as well, but only shawls and sweaters, no KALs. No KALs. So that is fine with me. It just gets things out of my stash, off my plans list. That makes me feel good. I have one more start that I want to show you. I'm going to do it kind of quickly, hopefully, because it is a gift for my husband. Okay, so backstory real quick. I don't know what it is lately. So I've been with my husband for almost 13 years now. And I've been obviously knitting for a couple of years. And I've asked him in the past, I'm like, do you want me to make you a pair of socks? Do you want me to make you anything? And he's always said no. My husband does not like receiving gifts. So he's always said no. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I won't. I mean, I was like, more time to knit for myself, right? I was like, whatever. I don't know what it is, but these last 2 weeks, he's mentioned to his dad and to one of our friends at church. I know it's teasing, but he's all like, oh, see, she's always making something for herself. She never makes me anything. I've asked her so many times to make me something and she never does. And I'm like, excuse me, sir. I mean, it's all teasing, but I decided to make his butt a pair of socks. And it took me a minute to really try to figure out what socks I was going to make him. It was really just me digging through my stash to find out which yarn I want to give him. And it took me a few days, but I finally found the perfect yarn. So I had this yarn in my stash probably for like 2-3 years now. And it's from Gauge Dye Works. I have the Solar System yarn. My husband likes space, and this yarn is super like special. This is what the yarn looks like. The dyer behind Gauge Dye Works did a phenomenal job at figuring out this. Like, look, that's measurements at the top, what each color, distance wise. Oh, is not focusing. Just super, super cool. And then on the back, she has the distance from the sun and then diameter in kilometers. All this stuff is so cool. So I was like, well, this is what I'm going to do. So I separated the ball into 2 skeins because right in the middle of the skein is a big chunk of gray so that you can do afterthought heels. I'm like, cool. And she even has it's like, I don't know how to explain it. So there's a big chunk of this gray, and then there's this darker strand. There's like a dark strand right in the middle, and that's where you cut. She even marked it out. This is where you cut. So I did all that. Everything is super tangled right now. And I cast on, what day was it? Just recently. February 26th. I cast that on, and then, was it that day? Oh, shoot. Okay. And I'm cast on that night, and then the next day, I believe we had indoor recess at work, so I was able to take this with me. I managed to, so I cast on and I only had the tip. So I know, look, here's where I got one sock. I had just this little bit of yellow on the toe. And the next morning I finished the toe, picked up and actually knit this toe. And then I was able to get all of, well, not all of it, because say to this stripe, all of this one on this one, and then matching on this one below this stripe. All of that in one day. And I just kept going back and forth, finish stripe on this one, go to this one, stripe, 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 stripe kind of thing. Just made it really awesome. So this is where I'm at. So here, I'll show you. You have the sun, Venus, or Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and now I'm working on Jupiter. I need to get Jupiter worked up on this one, but I'm not going to finish until I'm not going to do it until I have this Jupiter done, which is massive, but that's okay. I'm using the pattern. It's the pattern called Knox Socks. She used the exact same yarn for her pattern, so that's why I was like, I'll use that one. Let's see here, Knox Socks by Knox Mountain Knit Company. I actually tweaked the pattern just a little bit, and I am a little worried. My husband has narrow feet, but he wears a US 12 men's, so pretty long. And so what I decided to do is kind of go between a medium and a large for the shoe size, or for the sock size. So I'm knitting this at a 68 stitch circumference, whatever. So that's what I'm doing. Instead of a 72 and not a 64, I picked 68. I've never had my husband try on my hand knit socks except my very first pair. And that doesn't count much for anything, because my very first pair of socks, I used Patton's Croy sock. I don't remember if it was a 60 stitch or if it was 64 stitch. And I accidentally used, where is it? What I thought was a US one. I used these Flexi Flips by Addie. It says US one, but they're a 2.5 millimeter. So they're technically a 1.5, a US 1.5. So it's a 2.5 millimeter. So the gauge is not correct for what my normal sock is when I use a US 1 or a 2.25 millimeter. And I notice also when I knit my socks, I do wash them in the washer. I have been drying them in the dryer. They do tighten up a bit. So if this is too wide for him, washing it should be okay. Or he can just wear them around the house. Doesn't matter. So, and it's nice that this is going to be an afterthought heel, so I don't have to worry about that too much. But yeah, so I have these two socks going. He does not know. He does not know. And I'm trying to figure out how best to work on them. I'd like to work on them more. We almost went to church this morning, but my husband woke up sick, so he woke up sick, so we weren't able to go. But I was like starting to stress because I'm like, this would be perfect church knitting. But then he's going to see them. Hopefully he wouldn't ask what I was working on, because he technically never asks, but still. Anyways, so that is what is on my needles right now. All right, 2 acquisitions, and that should be the end of this, I believe. Acquisition number 1. This is the sock set that I purchased from Leo and Roxy. They announced that they were no longer going to be selling this yarn, which is the marled sock yarn. They were no longer, why does it keep focusing on my face? You can't even see my eyeballs. They were no longer selling this yarn. So what they had in the shop was it. And I really like these work socks, the look of these work socks. So I snatched it up. They had a lot of different like colors, minis. I went with the pink flamenco. I just thought that was cute. And they gave, let's see here. Oh, it came with like this, where is it? Way over there. this little print. It says "Pain in the Stash" with a beautiful moth. So I hung it up. And they came with the pattern, which is super awesome. It's the Leo and Roxy anniversary socks. So that's what the socks look like. And I plan to make those exact socks. So I was really grateful for that. Here are the other colorways that they had. I'm sorry, they don't have them anymore, but those are the other colorways. Again, I went with the pink because I liked that the best. But yeah, it was really nice. Super soft. It is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. You know, typical sock yarn. So one day these will be a pair of socks. Last acquisition. This one's a big one. I even filmed a little clip when I first got this, but then I realized that that was not necessary because I'm just going to show you the whole thing anyways. I purchased a needle organizer from 5 to 6 needle, 5 to 6 organized knits. So this is the company. She used to be on Etsy, but then she had to pull off because of the amount of business that she was getting. Natalie showed this from Nitty Natty. She showed this a while ago when she was still living in New York. Anyways, I really, really liked it. I just knew that it was really expensive, so I waited a while. I actually put myself on the wait list November 1st, 2023, and was only able to make a purchase in February of 2024. So if you are interested in one of these, get yourself on the wait list, and just expect it's going to be a couple months. I mean, granted, I did have to wait for Christmas, the holidays and stuff like that. So maybe it won't be as long for you, but just so you're aware. And these are quite pricey, but I'll explain. Mine is a little bit cheaper. Why mine is a little bit cheaper? Anyways, needle organizer. I really liked the idea that I could keep all my needles together. So I have the Chiagu set. Here, I'll pull this out. I had the Chiagu full set. Absolute favorite needles. And I actually had the red and blue set as well for the shorties. I still need the yellow set, but I had these as well. I hated having everything separate like this and having to constantly come down here and grab what I need, or I'd leave it upstairs. You know, I wanted everything together. And then I was also struggling with the cables come in little Ziploc bags, and I was constantly tearing them and having to replace them. So that was getting really frustrating. So I knew that this system that Molly of 5 to 6 organized knits offers, I knew it was going to be what I needed and would love. So I finally got the chance to purchase, like it was finally my time to order, like you custom order what you need. Well, I don't know if this was new for her, but she actually had a couple that were on sale because either they weren't what the customer exactly ordered. One was a prototype. This one was a prototype that she doesn't plan to actually make, but she wanted to try it. And I got it for half off, which I was super, super thrilled about, but it's exactly what I needed, everything to a T. And it was in a great color, like it wasn't a funny fabric or anything. It's just gray linen fabric. It's got a zipper on both sides, and I'll show you why in just a second. But here is the inside. And then the other side. So 5-inch, 4-inch needles. I mean, I have 2 5 inches, so here it still works. Everything, all the sizes, perfect fit in there, from 000 all the way up to a 17, and that's US, or I guess 1.5 millimeter all the way up to a 12 millimeter. Perfect. All my needles. Then the one thing that I knew that I needed was a spot for those shorties. So here is This side is for the 2-inch length needles. So this pocket right here, focus, all the 2-inch length, 2-inch length, all of them go in here. They fit in here perfectly. Nothing has shifted at all since I got this. And then on this side is the 3-inch tip, and it is for all 3 sets. So you got all the way from 0 to, what is that, an 11? So the yellow set is 9, 10, 10 and a half, 11 US. I don't have that set yet. And then all the rest of them, these are the 3-inch tips. So it's exactly everything I needed. I do have a couple extra 2s and 1s, you know, 2.25, 2.75. So I shoved them in there so they can fit a total of about 4 needles if you squeeze them in there. So yes, absolutely love this thing. Everything is together. Now what about the cables, right? I ordered this custom. It's pretty much the same thing. The only custom bit is the fabric, honestly. So I ordered this one to go in my bag, which fits perfectly in there. This is the cable organizer. You can get a fixed circular needle thing. It's just a little bit bigger than this, but this is just for cables, interchangeable cables. Magnet. And it comes with all these little zippy bags. And she gives you a bunch of little stickers so you can write the length or whatever you want to write on there. So I have my 5-inch cables, 6-inch cables, 8-inch cables, 14, 22, 30, 37, and then I actually have a 9-inch like fixed needle, so I just threw that in there too. But yeah, just perfectly fits in there. Everything is organized. No more ripping Ziploc bags or looking through all your cables to find the right size. You just know exactly. The only thing is I just put the regular size cables and the large size cables together. You can tell those by just glance which one you need. And then the blue ones are, you know, for the shorty sets. And then there are mini cables for the tiny cables. But again, you can tell it's super easy. And then you just shut that. Stick that in here. Everything's good. I do keep her card. Oops. I do keep her card in here too, just because that is who I am. Absolutely love this thing. This is the best thing in the whole world. I am so happy I bought this. I am so excited that I was able to get this for half the cost. They are really expensive, but I think it is 100% worth it. If you can get one, I highly suggest. She also has, I think, DPN versions, maybe crochet hook versions. Again, you know, just regular interchangeable. And then, like I said, the cable organizer, you can get that as a fixed circular. So it'll be a little bit bigger so you can fit your fixed needles in it. It's not just for Chiagu, it's for, you know, any sets that you have. Absolutely love this. This is the best thing in the whole world. This made my day the day it came in the mail. Okay, that's everything that I think I have to talk about today. Oh, I guess plans going into March. Finishing this test knit. And obviously these KALs that are, these knit-alongs that are, those are probably going to be my priority. I did do a swatch for a new sweater that was on my plans list. This one would be for the Guernsey Genzer by Santa's Garn. This is one strand of Platelope, but I don't think I'm hitting gauge, and it's very like airy and see-through. Not that you can really tell, but I don't know if I'm hitting gauge. So I think that sweater is going to be put on the back burner for a little while. And I'm going to pick, gosh, what was I going to pick? Something different maybe? I really just need to keep focusing on that cardigan though, the Clearview cardigan. That one needs to get going. So That's why I'm kind of like beating myself up. Like, what sweater do I want to start? But wait, I have the cardigan that I really want. So I was debating. I have several actually. I just don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. So the plans, I guess, right now is just to do the knit along stuff and the cardigan, finish the test knit. We'll see from there. So that really should be it. So I want to go ahead and let you go. I want to eat lunch. So I will see you guys in the middle of March. Have a great one.